Pegaso, the motorized cycle ergometer with functional electrical stimulation that improves rehabilitation and health. Pegaso allows a real active rehabilitation of the lower and upper limbs, thanks to the functional electrical stimulation, which provides the synchronized contraction of the muscles with the pedaling movement, even if the muscles are completely or partially paralyzed. The exercise carried out with Pegaso, safe and scientifically proven, is effective for both upper and lower limbs and provides significant improvements of the rehabilitation and health of both musculoskeletal and cardiopulmonary systems. Pegaso has an optional adjustable and ergonomic seat, which can turn to allow an easier access to the user. Pegaso can also be accessed directly from a wheelchair. The wheelchair should be positioned in front of the cycle ergometer, ensuring that it is aligned with it and is well centered with the pedals, in order to achieve the correct position of the legs. The correct distance from Pegaso should allow to have about 45 degrees of flexion of the knee joint in the fully extended position of the leg. Pegaso has safety straps to secure the foot to the pedal and calf rests to avoid incorrect movements of the knee while pedaling. Calf rests can be adjusted to fit the size of the leg. The pedals of Pegaso can be adjusted in height very easily by pushing a release button. The height of the pedals can range from 36 to 110 cm from the ground. The software of Pegaso stores for each patient the chosen position of the pedals. During adjustment, the software indicates whether the pedals are located in the correct position or if it is necessary to continue adjusting upward or downward. Pegaso allows 4 therapies: leg cycling, arm cranking forward and backward, and supine cycling from a bed or reclined seat. All these therapies can be made with or without functional electrical stimulation. In active therapy with functional electrical stimulation, the muscle contraction are activated by the electrostimulator in a sequence that replicates the physiology and that results functional to the completion of the pedaling movement. Functional electrical stimulation is a technique of active rehabilitation that aims at restoring missing or defective function through the use of electrical stimulation of the neuromuscular system. Pegaso, through surface electrodes placed on the skin in correspondence of muscle of the legs or arms, uses FES to generate the pattern of muscle activation to complete the pedaling, allowing paralyzed muscle to perform a real active exercise. The perfect integration between the bicycle ergometer and electrical stimulation and the motor ensures the correct muscle activation and optimization of their exercise. The integration is made in Pegaso through the continuous and accurate measurement of the angle, speed and pedaling power, which are processed for the control and the adjustment in real time of the parameters of the electrostimulation and of the motor, assistance or resistance. Pegaso allows also passive and active assisted movement therapy. In this case, the functional electrical stimulation is set to 0. The computer regulates the motor in order to adapt to patient's performance and optimize the exercise. An indicator on the display constantly shows if pedaling is achieved exclusively by muscles of the subject or if the motor is supporting the movement. In both operating modes, you can see in real time on the display the symmetry between the work done by the right leg and by the left leg. You can then perform a biofeedback exercise which aims at improving the symmetry between the right and left side in relation to power and control, especially useful in the rehabilitation of unilateral deficit. For each session, Pegaso stores all the settings and data of the patient in a database. Each training session is composed of 4 phases: warm-up, preparatory phase, active phase, and cool-down. The parameters of the exercise with Pegaso can be adapted to each patient in terms of session duration, target speed, speed of the motor support, resistance, electrical stimulation intensity. For the electrical stimulation, it is possible, through a specific functionality of the software, to set individually the 6 channels of stimulation in terms of amplitude, delay, and duration. The therapy parameters can be set also directly on a PC and transferred to Pegaso by a USB key. After training, some statistical indexes of the session are displayed: session duration, average speed, maximum speed, average power, maximum power, distance covered, and average stimulation. For each session of therapy, results, parameters, and graphs of speed, pedaling power, and stimulation level are saved on the internal database of Pegaso and are accessible by the clinician later. Pegaso presents several functionalities that maximize the safety of the patient during the therapy. In the case a muscle spasm is detected during the session, Pegaso stops the therapy, which passes in a state of pause, and displays a warning to allow the user to resolve the spasm. You can then resume the therapy at the point where it was stopped because of the spasm by clicking on the Yes button in the alert window. The sensitivity of the detection spasms can be adjusted by the clinician. Pegaso also includes an adjustable control of muscle fatigue that interrupts the stimulation if the pedaling power falls below a predetermined threshold. In case of detection of fatigue, a warning is displayed on the user and the therapy session continues with a passive movement of the legs. Pegaso software automatically adapts the amplitude of the stimulation depending on the pedaling speed of the patient. The percentage of stimulation is automatically controlled in relation to the speed target of the session, increases if the cycling speed decreases compared to the speed target and vice versa. This will prevent muscle fatigue. If an electrode comes off completely or partially from the skin, the exercise is stopped, the machine switches to pause status and shows an alert. After electrode replacement, therapy can be resumed. Pegaso is equipped with an emergency remote button connected to the control unit that the user or the therapist can hold in his hand to stop the machine at any time in case of need.